Welcome to the Bad Mom Show, where we flip the script on shame, shed light on what's made you feel invisible, and take your story back. It is time to step into that bold, baddie mom you were created to be. Around here, BAD stands for blessed, already approved of, and divinely designed, because you are not a bad mom. You are a leader. You were chosen for your family on purpose. You are divinely designed and anointed as the heart of your home, and you can confidently own your mantle of leadership as a fiery woman to lead with boldness, not burnout. This is your space to reclaim the parts of your story that have felt like weaknesses and discover they were actually your superpowers all along. It is time to shine as a BAD mom. Are you with me? Let's go. Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Bad Mom Show, where we are bad in the best way. You are blessed, already approved of, and divinely designed as the heart of your home. And today we are continuing the series on anger. If you missed the first episode, go back and listen to it. We are kind of building off of each one, digging into different layers of anger. Last episode, we talked about what it is and how it's not necessarily the problem, right? Anger is an emotion, and there's actually healthy anger. Um, but we've been taught that it's bad. We've been taught that it's something like to hide, that it's something to be ashamed of, that it marks you as bad. But truly, it's a signal. The anger is a signal to something deeper, something underneath in your heart that's saying, hey, something matters here and I need your help. I need attention to this place, this untended wound. And we're going to dig a little deeper into that. Um, we've been taught that it's a bad thing, but really it's a core emotion. And in its best form, anger, righteous anger, we talked about that last episode, but anger, it exposes the substance of your desires and the commitments of your heart. That is from a book called The Voice of the Heart by Chip Dodd. It is a really deep read. It's great though. And he does share how anger is actually a really powerful, probably one of the most important emotions we have because of that in its healthy form. It helps us pursue a full life. It shows up as our passion, right? It tells us something matters to us, either something not good, we don't like, we don't want, we're not identifying with that, or something good. Yes, we are passionately, that anger that like this matters over here. That's the good kind. You know, um, Anger, I was recently in a training about story work, and we talked about how anger is, it's a state of, what was the word? um, Activation. It's a state of, I want to say adrenaline, but it's like there's power behind it. There's passion. Other words that are associated with anger are desire, um, or hungering or wishing. It's not always necessarily bad. There is something good about it in that arousal state. That's what I was looking for. Arousal. It's not all bad. But as we know, it's been defined in our lives and through the perceptions of our brain and our body to be internalized as this bad, shameful thing that we have to hide and disguise and pretend is not part of us. So we push it away or we fight and then feel shame and guilt afterwards. So it's really important for us to get curious about it, right? Curiosity instead of judgment. Curiosity is what's going to kill the shame. Shame says there's something wrong with me versus I did something wrong. So we really have to just do this deep work, and it matters. And I'm telling you, it will make a big difference. I shared last time my 3-step framework of stop, drop, and soul. So again, if you didn't hear, you got to go back. And that is, yes, playing off of stop, drop, and roll, a way to see anger as an alarm bell, as a signal going off saying danger, danger, and how to break the cycle before the blow up. And so go back and listen to that. So today, we're going to build off that and explore why do I go from a 0 to 10 so quickly? What is under that simmering feeling that I just can't seem to shake? Well, here's the truth. 9 times out of 10, there's a fear underneath it. And there are three core categories of fear that I want to talk about today. It's not the kind of fear like I'm afraid of spiders, I'm afraid of heights, obvious things like that. No, this is the kind that it fuels the way you perceive the world around you, whether it's dangerous or safe, even in your own home and in your relationships. Am I in danger or am I safe? It's this um, this primal reactive response in our bodies and our brains, just trying to keep you safe. And at some point in your life, it did, right? There was a reason why you had to fight or get out of the situation or freeze and try to be invisible. There were reasons that it served you, but now you're a grown adult and your body is still responding in the same way because the felt sense of danger, even though you're not in an actual dangerous situation, the felt sense of they're getting too close, right? This makes me feel vulnerable. That feels dangerous. That feels risky. That feels exposing, will cause a defensive reaction in you that can come out as a fight or a shutdown that pushes people away, cold body behavior. We talked about that last episode, the differences between expressed and repressed, but everybody's got the anger. Um, so this is the type that puts you into performance mode, right? I'm not going to acknowledge these feelings. I'm just going to go. I'm going to focus on achievement. I'm going to people please, or I'm going to stay busy, really type A, control my environment because that makes me feel safe and in control. But when we slow down, there's actual information here and it's really, really helpful. So let's talk about them. The three main categories of fear underneath this unhealthy form of anger is feeling like you are not enough, right? Not qualified enough. I don't have enough, fill in the blank. I don't have what it takes. The second is fearing rejection or abandonment, fearing failure, feeling insignificant, the fear of that, like I don't matter. And then the third is the fear of being helpless, fear of feeling like at a total loss of control. I have no help. I'm all alone. So these are the fears that we're going to discuss. And again, grace, 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 because these are old, worn in highways in your brain. Like you are not even thinking about those things, but they are informing your perceptions of the world and your responses to it. So just give yourself some grace. So let's dive right in. Number one, we're going to start with the fear of losing control, the fear of feeling helpless. I have no help. I am all alone. This is a huge one. Have you ever felt that way? I mean, I know I have, especially for moms that are, we're high capacity, we're doing a lot. You manage many people and many things, and you need to feel in control because I don't know about you, but for me, like physical disorder literally will make me feel anxious. It will create like a panicked sense in my body. You're multitasking, you're taking kids to all their different sports schedules, prepping meals, picking up the house, um, managing homework, getting people to bed on time, trying to be emotionally available, and you are also not pouring into yourself. So you are depleted, and then what happens? You feel out of control and you snap. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, if I don't hold it all together, everything will fall apart. Okay, well, get curious about that. You might find yourself over managing or micromanaging people around you because it's just easier if I do it myself, right? I'm in control. I know my way is better. Anybody else? My way is best. Mom knows best. Or you might yell to feel more in control. It feels powerful. You get an actual response from people who may not have been paying attention before. but it's a way to either try to restore order or to withdraw, remove yourself or remove others from you and avoid the chaos. What's really happening underneath is this fear that you are not actually in control and you can't control what's going to happen. And the fear of, if I'm not in control, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? Just think about that. If you feel out of control, that's a pretty helpless, scary feeling. So that's number one. Number two, and these don't go in any specific order, the fear of rejection, or the fear of abandonment. This is a biggie. I know I can relate to this. So if you grew up having to fight literally for attention, to feel like you matter, to feel seen, this could be you. If you felt misunderstood growing up, if you got labeled angry or bad or, whatever fill in the blank thing that just felt too shameful to admit and really felt devastating. If you were left to manage your big feelings alone, nobody came. So you were emotionally abandoned. No one came to teach you how to deal with your big emotions. No one came to apologize or tell you it wasn't your fault. You were left. Hey, friend. Thank you so much for being here and following the Bad Mom Show. I would love to hear from you. So let's connect. After the show, send me a DM and let me know what's hitting home for you. What do you struggle with the most as a mom? And what topics would you like to hear more about? This show is all about connection in the community because that is how we truly grow. So reach out to me at the Teresa Todd on Instagram, Facebook, or even TikTok, and I cannot wait to hear from you. In this, hyper arousal state, and all your nervous system learned to do is say, my big feelings, my neediness, my too muchness is scary. It's risky. It pushes people away. So I have to do everything I can to shut that down. And if it comes out, it's bad. So now here you are as an adult, and it could be the most minor thing, but you feel overlooked, maybe in a friend circle, like all your girlfriends got together for dinner, but you didn't get invited, or you feel misunderstood. Hi, marriage. Ever feel that way? Um, or you feel ignored, like you just literally feel completely overlooked. It can feel like a punch in the stomach because it goes straight to the core of who you are. And that rejection wound is so riddled with shame. It is so deep. And the sense of, like, I literally don't matter to people. Like, I'm invisible. I am not seen. I am not known. I'm not valued. It is a very deep wound. It is one that I'm really passionate about. And it will fuel angry responses, reactions. Criticism is intolerable, even if it's constructive, right? Like, and let's just be honest. Do you struggle to receive constructive criticism? Do you struggle to admit fault? Does it feel damning? Does it feel shameful? Let's just be curious about it. It might feel like you've been exposed, and that's very risky to a person with this wound. That feels very vulnerable, and that feels very risky. So you might lash out, not because you're actually, because of the situation that's going on, but because you are terrified of being rejected, like they see you for who you are and they're going to reject you, or being abandoned emotionally or physically. But yes, it's that deep. So you might puff up and come off really tough, like nothing bothers you. You're tougher, you're bigger, you're stronger. This isn't going to bother you. You're hard, you're cold. You might say things to create the distance. That makes you feel like you're not in danger because you learned when you were little, if I'm alone, I'm safe. If I'm alone, no one sees this bad side of me. And then once it goes away, I can come back out. But really, deep down inside, it feels like nobody cares. It feels like I said, like you're invisible. And it really is such a sadness, right? It's a loneliness. The third one is the fear of being not enough. Now, I don't know any mother that cannot relate to that, or just woman, honestly. Um, this sense of your value being attached to how good you are. It starts at a very, very young age. And we hear it from our parents, we hear it from coaches, from teachers. We're constantly assessed based on our behavior, how well we're doing, or if we're not doing that well, or you learn to prove your value. You got praise when you did well, so now you've attached your worth to your performance. But there's this constant undercurrent of it's never enough because it isn't. How could you ever do enough? And humans are flawed. So when you put all of your value in the response of someone else, the expectation that if I do this, I will get attention, I will get valued, I will achieve accolades, and then I can prove that I'm good, that's always going to lead to disappointment, right? And then we strive and stress and hustle and burn ourselves out. And at the end of the day, you don't even give yourself credit for half the stuff you've done. So, not enough, you're unqualified, you're not young enough, you don't have enough time, um, you're not patient enough, you're not kind enough, you're not joyful enough. Fill in the blank. There is a litany of things you could tell yourself that disqualify you, that you are not enough. Therefore, I don't matter. I don't have what it takes. What I do doesn't make a difference. Nobody cares. And I'm forgettable. And this fear, like I said, just keeps us in that hustle mode, striving. It makes us anxious. I mean, it makes me anxious just thinking about it. And really hyper vigilant, constantly assessing your environment. And maybe you had to as a kid. You had to sense, okay, am I safe? Am I good? But now you just walk in the kitchen and you're reading everybody's responses without realizing it again. And it just creates this constant undercurrent of tension. You can't just relax and be you and be free. Oh, I'm telling you, it's important that we get these down. And I'm really glad that you're here and listening. So let's talk about it spiritually. The enemy knows it, right? The battle is in the mind, and he will whisper these lies to you. He will tap into your survival brain, tap into those thoughts that come so automatically without you even being aware of it, and stir up the felt sensations of danger. And you go into survival mode without even realizing you're there. And now you're having an angry response. But you hear all those things that you're feeling. You're not enough. Nobody notices you. You don't matter. No matter what you do, it's never going to be good enough. And these lies keep you stuck. They keep you trapped in patterns that you know aren't serving you. And then you wonder, why can't I change? What is wrong with me? But there's nothing wrong with you. It's what happened to me. That's the difference between judging yourself and getting curious. And so curiosity is imperative. So what do we do? Well, we get curious about the roots, right? These all have a root in your past, and they separated you from the truth of who you were created to be. And it also separated you from God. I don't know about you, but when you start your faith walk, or I don't know where you are in your journey, but it can feel risky. And learning to accept the love of God, the unconditional love, can be hard too, because perhaps love was conditional for you growing up, but His love isn't. And so it requires vulnerability, which feels scary. But when you get curious about the roots of your unhealthy anger, whether it's expressed or repressed, then you begin to retrain your brain with the renewal of your mind, with God's word. Then your brain starts to rewire, create new pathways. Again, they're combating a highway, but consistency over time, your new thought pattern will take charge and override it, and you heal, and you can breathe and be the free, beautiful, wonderful person you were created to be. There's lots of scripture about anger and lots of scripture about fear, but just take this to heart. God did not give you a spirit of fear. He gave you the spirit of power and love and a sound mind. I speak this over my kids all the time, particularly at night when they're afraid of, unseen things. But again, it's in their mind. but it's for us too. We walk through the day not realizing our subconscious is influencing so much of the thoughts in our brain, and more than your thoughts, most of your thoughts in the day are actually negative. I forget the exact amount. So it's so important that we slow down and get curious and think about what we're thinking about. God did not give you a spirit of fear. You even say it out loud to yourself. God did not give me a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. The Bible also says to fear not. That's a command. Fear not. Now, obviously, we're going to feel fear, but God's like, don't, okay, recognize it, feel that, but then say, I'm going to put it in its place, right? We take our thoughts captive and command that fear to go because God did not give you a spirit of fear. And he says, I am with you. I will not abandon you. So lean on him in these times. Let him speak truth into you. Be honest, be vulnerable. Say, oh my gosh, okay, this is triggering my, I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like I don't know how what it takes to raise my kid, this child that I'm struggling with right now. Or I don't, Lord, I feel helpless right now, right? I'm at the end of my rope from this day and I feel helpless. Can you help me? Or I feel scared, right? I'm afraid of somebody seeing this side of me that feels small and out of control or doesn't know what to do. And I'm afraid of them leaving me. Just be honest. I mean, how good does that feel? The freedom to just be honest. It doesn't disqualify you, it actually qualifies you. God is close to the brokenhearted. So lean on him today. And remember that in your own power, you are weak, right? That's why we need him. That's why he shines the light on these places in our stories because he's like, that was not what I intended for you, but I'm going to use that thing to elevate you. I'm going to use it for good. I'm going to grow you through it. I'm going to heal your heart. I'm going to heal your family. That's why this work matters so much. It's not just about you. It is about your legacy. It is about the impact you have in your home and your children and for generations to come and in your community, right? We don't need to put on masks and pretend like we're perfect and nothing bothers us and we don't get angry. That's just not true. Okay. You do. But let's get curious about what it is. So the next time you're having an angry moment, just get curious. Say, okay, I'm recognizing my reaction right now. Lord, help me. What is this? What's underneath this? Which fear is at the root of this? Do I feel not qualified right now? Do I feel fear failure or fear being rejected right now? Do I fear losing control? And then go a little deeper because that's going to be a felt sense somewhere in your body. There's going to be a story attached to it. And this is all your path to freedom, to healing. And it's so good. There's so much information that your body and your brain is communicating with you when we stop pushing forward, pushing our feelings aside and jumping into performance mode or busy mode or, all those things to just distract from feeling. No, you need to feel in order to heal. Amen. All right. So that's what I have for you today. Stay tuned because part 3 is going to be coming up. And if today's episode spoke to you, I hope that you understand that you are not a bad mom. You are not an angry mom. Just get curious about it. You can work through these things. You can renew your mind and speak truth over yourself and rewire your brain. So your sweet survival mode can take a rest and you say, hey, it's okay. We're not in danger anymore. And if you know a mom or a friend who had struggled with anger or is in the midst of it right now, but just doesn't want to admit it, share this episode with her. Share the whole series. Let her know she is not alone and she is not bad for having angry moments, that this is just information for her to get curious about. And as always, if you are a listener, please make sure you are subscribed and leave a 5-star review if this show speaks to you, because those things help get this show pushed out to more and more women. And that's what we need. We need to spread this word, right? Because we need as many women to know that they are not bad moms. They are blessed, already approved of, and divinely designed as the heart of their homes. New episodes drop every Wednesday. I'm so glad to have you here, and I'll see you next week.